In CSS, the term box model is used when talking about design and layout. CSS box model is essentially a box that wraps around every HTML element. It provides a guide to lay out HTML elements. In other words, it is used to create a definition for the way HTML elements are organized on the screen. It consists of the actual content, padding, border, margin. Understanding the term box model makes more sense once it is visually displayed. The margin is a buffer area that separates the interior of the CSS box model from other HTML elements on a page. Margins are on the outside. Think of margin you use on a piece of paper. These margins give space away from the edge of the paper. In HTML, margins work the same way in giving space away from the edge of the page. Borders simply wrap the elements. A border can wrap immediately around an element, or it may look further away from an element if more padding has been applied to the element. Padding provides space around the elements. Let's look at an example. I'm going to open my code editor, which is VS Code. I've created a simple HTML document and I'm going to be using it to explain border, margin, padding, and the box model in general. So I'm going to be using the external style sheet called styles.css to style my box. Notice that a class box has been assigned to the div. So I'm going to be using the class selector. In this case, my class selector is the box. So I'll give it a width of 300 pixels. And a height of 150 pixels. I'll also give my box a background color of light gray. I'll save this file, open the page in my browser. Okay. Next thing I want to do is to add a margin of 400 pixels. Forty pixels. Can you see the changes that just occurred? Next, I'm going to be adding a border of 5 pixels. I'll make it solid and I'll give it a color of Rebecca purple. I'll save my changes and refresh my web page. Good. The changes have been applied. Next thing I want to add is a padding of 40 pixels. I save my changes and I refresh my web page. I added a margin of 40 pixels and it separated my HTML elements from the edges of the web page. Notice that the border is in between the margin and the padding, right? The padding is in the interior aspect, the interior section of the element, while the margin is in the exterior section of the HTML element.